Will the Pittsburgh Steelers be interested in the latest top receiver star name to hit the free agency market in Odell Beckham Jr.? Well, ESPN sources have come out and gave their thoughts on if the Steelers will show interest in him or not. Also, Mike Tomlin appeared on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, and he basically told Pat McAfee to talk crap to the league for him for having the Steelers play 3 games in 10 days. But first, before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also, like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, just today, the Miami Dolphins have decided to waive star receiver Odell Beckham Jr., or at least former star. He hasn't been the same player he was since the New York Giants, but he's still a big name and someone who could hold it down in a receiver room if given the right opportunity. So the Miami Dolphins and him have mutually decided to part ways, and now he hits the free agency market. And we all know how this works. NFL fans of certain fan bases see it, and they're just like, hey, Odell Beckham Jr., big name. He could help our team. And him being in our team could help us get pushed over the edge and be a contender. Well, that's the same thing that happened with the Steelers today. Obviously, some fans seen Odell Beckham Jr. get waived, and they're just like, George Pickens is injured. The Steelers don't have a receiver. Odell Beckham Jr. could come in and help this team. Well, it's more to it than that. I'll get more into my thoughts on this later, but are the Pittsburgh Steelers even going to be interested in Odell Beckham Jr.? Because you look at him, and with the Miami Dolphins this season, he only played in 9 games. He started 0 of them, and he has 18 targets and 9 receptions for 55 yards. He was not able to even put up 100 yards in basically 10 games this season. He barely got targeted. He's just not the player he used to be. And even last season in Baltimore, he played 14 games, started 6 of them, 64 targets, and 35 receptions, 565 yards. So at this point in his career, he's definitely not the receiver that he was with the New York Giants and with the Cleveland Browns. And he's been injured and injured and injured, and his playmaking is just not there anymore. His hand skills in terms of receiving the ball is, but his route running, his getting open, his agility, everything like that is just not the same anymore. Me personally, I wouldn't look into signing him, but let's look at ESPN. What they had to say about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Will the Steelers be interested in signing Odell Beckham Jr. off the free agency market once he clears waivers, in which he will? So, ESPN has said the Pittsburgh Steelers are not currently linked to Odell Beckham Jr. in any way as of right now, and they do not plan on signing him. ESPN has come out and said the 2 spots that are interested or he could go back to are the Los Angeles Rams when they won the Super Bowl, and he could go back to them, and he knows that the Rams liked him there before, and Buffalo Bills is the other team. Buffalo Bills have kind of sort of played around with the idea the last couple of years when he's been available. So Buffalo is a place he could end up as well. But the Steelers are not currently linked to Odell Beckham Jr. at all as of right now. But you look at him, he's a big name player, but just because he's a big name doesn't mean he could help this team. Yes, he could be a solid 3rd, 4th wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but is he going to push the Steelers over the edge? Probably not. Is he going to be the person to replace George Pickens in the lineup? Probably not. We've seen Mike Williams barely get used ever since the trade that happened from the New York Jets because he's not really caught up to the offense. They aren't really too familiar with him as of right now. He's barely played. What makes you think Odell Beckham Jr. will come in off of the street as well and just ultimately get more playing time than Mike Williams? Mike Williams was traded for a draft pick, but Odell Beckham Jr. would be signed off of free agency. So Odell Beckham Jr. will not get the same opportunity. And I don't believe he'll even get the playing time, because Mike Williams didn't get the playing time since he's been traded here. So this is probably not going to happen, but Odell Beckham Jr. is the latest name to hit the free agency market, and we all know the Pittsburgh Steelers have been linked to a wide receiver ever since offseason. Every top name that appears on the free agency list, whether it was Tyler Boyd at one point, whether it was Mike Williams at one point, whether it was Brandon Ayuk, or any other wide receiver, Cortland Sutton, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been linked to them either via trade, free agency, or whatever it's been. But Odell Beckham Jr. is not the player the Pittsburgh Steelers are linked to as of right now. And me personally, I don't think it will happen. I don't really want it to happen, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you believe the Pittsburgh Steelers should look into signing Odell Beckham Jr., OBJ, or do you believe he cannot help this team anymore at this point in his career? Do you think he would help this team, hurt this team? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this topic. And also, let's move over to the second topic of this video, because Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, they have 3 games in 10 days. The Steelers take on the Eagles, a late game, 4:25 Eastern Time, December 15th on Sunday. And then the following week, they play a short week against the Ravens on Saturday, another late game at 4:30 Eastern Time. And then following it up, December 25th on a Wednesday, another short week. So that's 3 games in 10 days. And the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach, Mike Tomlin, isn't pleased with it, but he's not about to get fined, and he's not about to voice his opinion in the media, but he does tell Pat McAfee to talk crap to the league for him, because basically it's unacceptable, but he doesn't say it like that. Mike Tomlin will never complain to the media about things like this. So him basically telling him, Pat McAfee, to make sure he does a good job in talking crap to the league for having the schedule be like this, is basically him voicing his opinion through Pat McAfee, because Mike Tomlin will never show that he's actually upset with things like this to give his team less motivation. He's going to motivate his team to do good. If he's complaining about this, that means his team will start complaining, and he doesn't want that. So he'll never voice his opinion in that way, but him voicing his opinion through Pat McAfee shows that he is pissed off about this. But just not to the attention the media will give it, because now the media will not give this any attention, because Mike Tomlin didn't say any words directly other than telling Pat McAfee to go off and do a good job in what he's saying. So this is basically what Patrick Mahomes also was talking about, because Patrick Mahomes just yesterday or the day before, I believe, was talking about this, because they have to play 3 games in 10 days or 3 games in 11 days as well. And they are playing on short weeks, and he believes that this is bad for the body, this is bad for the league, this is bad for their team heading down the final stretch, and does not believe this should be a thing. So he was complaining, he was voicing his own opinion in the media and saying how this is not good. So him coming out and saying this is basically what Mike Tomlin feels as well. They basically shared the same opinion, but Mike Tomlin just didn't voice it like Patrick Mahomes did. And this is quite funny as well, because the Pittsburgh Steelers, not only do they have to play all their divisional games in the second half of the season after their bye week, in which we all know it's always a bruised battle, people get injured, it's just tough AFC North football. It doesn't matter who it is, Browns, Bengals, Ravens, it's just tough, hard-nosed football, and people will get injured after the game. Not even just that, not even that they have to play all those divisional games, but now they have to do it on short weeks after short weeks and 3 games in 10 days. It just seems like the Steelers' second half of the schedule was just stacked up against them to fail, but they haven't failed up to this point. They're still pushing forward, and that's because they have come together and they don't care about the narrative surrounding them. It's football at the end of the day. They have to play through whatever they have to play through in terms of the schedule. They can't control it. You have to control what you could control. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have done a very good job at that, and no complaining. So, with this being said, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on this topic as well. How do you feel about Mike Tomlin basically telling Pat McAfee to go off, talk crap, but he's not going to do it himself? Do you believe he's pissed at the schedule? Are you pissed at the schedule? 3 games in 10 days? And do you think this will hurt the Steelers as wear and tear does end up rubbing off towards late in the end of the season? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And also, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis reports covering the Pittsburgh Steelers, even rumors like this Odell Beckham Jr. thing and JJ Watt yesterday. I cover everything Steelers, and a film breakdown is done after every single game the Pittsburgh Steelers have played at this season. It's on the channel. Go ahead and check it out. I'll continue doing it as we move forward in the season as well, and the playoffs, everything like that. I'm covering all the off season once the season is over as well. So make sure you stay tuned to this channel all season and off season long. That being said, like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and until next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.